welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. My name is Sammy, and on this channel we do wood signs, DIYs, and there's always tons of laughter. Today I'm bringing you some patriotic DIYs, so if that's something you want to craft, then let's get started. So we are starting our first DIY with a wood round. I have already burned this round. I will leave the link for that down in my description box so you can see how. And I will leave a link on step-by-step, like designated wood round videos for you down below as well. This piece was inspired by Chastity in our Unicorn Dust Designs group. She posted a step-by-step picture tutorial and it helped me so much. So right here, you guys, we are going to form essentially our stencil. This is an 18-inch wood round from Home Depot. I am taking the painter's tape. This is Scotch 233 plus automotive tape. And Chastity recommended getting your scraper, your vinyl scraper. You could use anything like a credit card too, and really pressing the tape down. And I think that made a world of a difference in this situation. So as you can see, I got my little pie slice up there, which is going to be our stars. And then I'm going to start building our stripes. So as you can see, I'm using a little scrap piece. This is going to make sure that we get straight lines all across and perfect spacing across as well. Now, as you get up, it gets kind of harder to wrap around the side, but it does work. So just play around with it. But we are going to be staining the sides of this board as well. So we're going to carry this all the way down our wood round here. Easy peasy. You could also use other painter's tape. This is just what works for me. Everything I use will be down in my Amazon store link. Now I'm taking Barn Red by Varathane. I am using my microfiber cloth and I am going to now start putting that on this wood round. Oh, should say I burned my wood round and then I applied golden oak stain to it first. So now we're going to carry this all the way down. I am not pressing hard on this. I am lightly coating my wood round with the Barn Red. Taking off now. Oh, those clean lines. Oh my gosh, makes your girl happy. Oh, this came out so good. And I really think the whole pressing down with your scraper did wonders. Okay, so now we need to do our stars. I let this dry completely up in the sun. I'm going to take some painter's tape again, and we are going to go right on top of that red stain. Our straight lines are already there for us. Right there, I was just making sure that my red stain was dry. If you feel any oily residue, if the stain transfers on your finger, it is not dry yet. So we're going to go ahead and put that on. Then I took some vinyl cutout stars. I'm going to put those on there as well. I'm just sporadically putting them on. I have no rhyme or reason to where I am putting these. And then I'm going to do the same thing, get my scraper tool and really make sure that they're down. So right here, I took Worn Navy by Varathane, and I think it's because I laid that... was it golden pecan I just said? I don't know. Stain on there first. It started looking green. So I had it improvise here. I grabbed Ocean Blue by Waverly. I'm going to spritz it with some water to kind of we're going to make our own custom stain. I'm going to take that same microfiber cloth and I'm going to rub that. And that actually ended up being like the perfect blue. So I was really happy. Happy mistakes, right? So we're going to let that dry, which this dried super quick because it was paint. And we're going to take those off. Now, the stars didn't do as good of a job as the painter's tape. I only got like a little bit of bleeds though. So I was really happy. This sign has intimidated me forever. So I was really excited to see Chastity in our Unicorn Dust Designs group post about it. All right, now I'm going to take my vinyl stencil. This is Aura Mask 813 stencil vinyl. Y'all, I have all of the supplies that I use on my wood signs in my Amazon store link. Can you tell it's late at night and I'm in my pajamas? So I am going to apply that. This was an image from Cricut. You can also get tons of different stencils from Amazon, your local craft store, tons of options. Now, if you guys have ever watched any of my wood round videos, I usually always use my little mini roller, But for this wood round, I really wanted it to be rustic looking. So I am using the lightest, you guys, and I mean lightest coat of this white chalk paint because I do not want to saturate the board. I do not want paint going underneath. And you can see right here, those crisp lines. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Oh my goodness. I had a little bit of bleed on the O, but I wasn't worried about it because we're going to take a sanding block. We're going to rough it up just a little bit more. Oh, which I did not show you. Now taking my Helmsman. This is water-based, okay? Water-based in all caps. And I'm going to put one coat on the front, brush our sides, a coat on the back. Now, if you are going to put your wood round directly in the elements, which I mean like not under a porch, not in a storm door, then you want to put at least 2 to 3 coats on your wood round to protect it from the elements. So I just go ahead and I let that dry in between coats. I'm not going to show me doing all the coats, but I do rub it in on the side. That way we don't get cloudy globs from our clear spilling down the side. And now easy peasy, we're wrapping this up, y'all. I am going to take my D hooks. These are also in my Amazon store link. I measure up 16 inches across. So you'll see how I move it up. That measures 16 inches across. Then I go 3 inches in and I do slant my D hooks. And I'm just gonna screw those in. I'm then gonna grab my wired jute cord. This is actually from Dollar Tree and it is amazing. I use it all the time now. It's one of my favorite versus like burlap ribbon and stuff. And you guys, that is it. Like I said, I will leave links for how to torch your wood round and how to do it step by step, a little slower, in my description box if this is something you're interested in learning about. Thank you, Chastity, so much for posting. You made it seem so easy and it gave me confidence to finally try this. I was always worried that the stain was gonna bleed, but you all look at this wood round. The torching method, do you see how beautiful that red looks with it? Like, oh, it is stunning. And y'all, all right, for this one, y'all, we are going to use a Dollar Tree sign. Stock up when you see like the nice plain square signs at Dollar Tree. They go fast. Next, I'm going to take a ruler. We are going to draw some lines to get like a paneling effect here. I'm going to continue that all the way down. Next, I'm going to take my ocean, and you can see I'm taking my stencil brush. I am doing it messy. I want to see that brown peeking through, but I do want to show you that I am covering up the pencil marks. So you can see right here, I don't want to see those pencil marks. So make sure that you do cover those up. And I'm going to continue to do that with all of our colors. So you can see right here, the white, and I don't know what it was, but this came out so good. I mean, it really looked like paint was chipping. You know, when we do like the Vaseline painting technique, it looks like I did that on this sign, but I definitely did not. So I continue that, and then we are going to take this 6x6 wood square. These are from Walmart, and you could get them in a, I think it's a 3 or 4 pack. They're under $5. They are framed, if you could just see that quick glimpse. But I really do like these. All right, so after I make you watch me paint this entire thing, because y'all don't know how to paint and all, I'm going to take Hazelnut by Waverly, our plaid mini chip brush, which I will link in the description box. A lot of you guys say you can't find it, but it is on the plaid website. And it is like the best de-stressing brush ever. And I just thought it pulled in all of the brown from the bigger sign we had. Now I'm taking a stencil. This is from Cricut Design Access. And oh my gosh, this stencil is just so beautiful. Keep in mind, you guys, you could get stencils on Amazon, at your local craft stores. A lot of people sell them on Etsy. I do usually sell them, but since this is a Cricut design, I don't believe I can. But anyways, I'm going to take red and my stencil brush from Dollar Tree. These are my favorite brushes. And we're going to stencil proud, and we're going to stencil American in red. And the remainder of the stencil, we're going to take that ocean, and we are going to then peel it off once it dries Easy peasy. There we go. This came out so good. So good, girl or boy, whoever's watching. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and weed that out. Do you guys like how I started measuring? I was like, nah, that's too much work. Let's eyeball it. And it actually, I was proud. It was pretty darn straight. All right, now we're gonna take our shipping paper. I mean, if you guys want this double-sided and you want gather on the back and, you know, American on the front, you go for it. I wanted to cover this up though. So I just take my craft knife, we're gonna cut around there. And now you guys, if you're new to my channel, I always cover the back of my signs. I just want it to look like a very finished product. We're gonna put our twine back in there and look at this beauty. Hello, doll. Yes, you are so, look at that distressing. It looks so good. I am proud to be an American and I am proud of this sign. All right, you guys, how did you like those first two patriotic DIYs? I thought this was the perfect timing. We got 4th of July coming up, Memorial Day coming up. So I just wanted to give you a nice little collection of some patriotic DIYs that I have done. So I hope you're enjoying them. Hope they inspire you to start crafting. I also wanted to remind you guys that I will be taking a maternity leave, but that does not mean I'm not going to be posting videos. You are still going to get 2 videos a week from me on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And starting June, I will be rolling out Spotlight Saturday, where I am going to feature one newer creators within YouTube to share with you guys. They will be a surprise, so you have to tune in every Saturday to check out who I feel passionately about and want to share with my community of unicorns. So I will also, you guys, be posting on my vlog channel while I'm away, so make sure to click that link down below in my description box. And you guys know the drill. If you're digging me, if you're digging the DIYs, if you're digging this channel, then make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and let's get back into it. We are using the USA and the Star Decor from the Dollar Tree. And these little white wood slat thing pieces I got from Michael's. They were on clearance. I've had them in my basement forever. Had no idea what to do with them until voila, it came to mind what I needed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put some E6000 on these along with hot glue so we can get an instant hold on those. And the E6000 is going to allow this to like hold very well because I am going to be placing it vertically, not horizontally. So I definitely need that secured hold on there. And then we are going to go ahead and take some popsicle sticks because we want that security. We don't want it going anywhere. And then we're going to take off the hardware. I keep all of the hardware. You never know when you're going to need it. And I mean, it's basically free hardware when you think about it. So you could use that on another project. And then we are going to place another popsicle stick right there. And this thing isn't going anywhere. I did let it dry for quite some time before playing around with it. And now here's Hanky, you guys. Everybody loves seeing Hank. I think more than me, to be honest. He's such a lover. And you guys, this is sped up, so he will do this for like 10-15 minutes just laying on my lap. Does a nice little stretch. There we go. He don't care about my time. He's like, hello, I'm here. Okay, you don't want to pay attention. Okay, so getting back to the sign. We're going to put the USA, and they fit perfectly in these squares, but the star does not. So I needed to figure out a way to raise the star. So I get a popsicle stick and I cut it into little squares, and I'm going to go ahead and hot glue those together to create a little riser for that star to kind of be lifted out of the square. I knew that if I just put glue on the points, there was no way it was going to have longevity. So this is the route I used, and it turned out great. And I am just going to hot glue all of these pieces down. Eventually, maybe. The hot glue holds this great. I didn't use any E6000 on this. I mean, you can if you'd like to, just so you have added security to your sign. but it ain't moving. It isn't going anywhere. So the hot glue works just fine. And you guys, for this S, pay attention. I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but I feel like one side is smaller than the other. So I don't know. You tell me. Is there a side that's bigger than the other? Because it felt like it. All right. So we're done with that. You guys, this sign was easy. That was it. I was like, whoa, that's already done. And look at how beautiful it looks on that mantle. I love the height it gives the mantle. And I love, you can't really see it in here, but the sparkles are gorgeous. All right, DIY number 2, we're taking 3 5x7 canvases, some printables. I just found these, I think on Pinterest or Google, I'm not sure, but they were free printables and I printed them out. And initially I chose them for the vibrancy of the color, but that ends up not mattering. Now we're going to cut those down. You don't have to make them exactly 5x7 and you'll see why. Now we are going to make them look old and vintage. So we're crumbling them up. And I'm doing this because I want them to look worn. I want them to look like they were found in somebody's attic and have been sitting there for ages. And then we're going to put them on cookie sheets and take a hot pot of black coffee. And we're going to pour that over there and we're going to leave them in there for about 5 minutes or so. As you can see, the color comes up on these. So yeah, that's why I say the color doesn't matter. Then we're going to pour the excess coffee out. And I don't know if it would have been any different if I would have just let the paper set for 24 hours since I had just printed them. And then we're going to take a paper towel and I'm just blotting the excess coffee off of these. Just like that. And make sure to pat on the actual papers too. Then we're going to put them in the oven at 200 degrees for about 5 or so minutes. Just make sure you keep checking on it. You don't want to start a fire or anything. These took me at least 8 minutes or so. And this is what they look like when they come out of the oven. They're dry, they're kind of crispy, and they look old, and I love it. Now, we're taking our canvases. I've never tried this before, but it actually worked out great. And I'm taking my stain, which is Worn Navy, Barn Red, and I forget what the brown one's called. And you guys, there's no rhyme or reason for what I'm doing on these canvases stain-wise. Really, you only have to do like the outer part of it if you don't want to waste product, because you're not going to even see the middle of it once you put your pictures on the canvases. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to repeat this step for all 3 of them. And I did leave them to dry for a few hours because they had like a sticky residue on them. So I just wanted to make sure they were dry and that the Mod Podge didn't make it all weird. Okay, so those are dry. We're going to go ahead and take our prints, and I am tearing the edges off of these because, like I said, I want them to look worn. I want them to look old. I do not want them to look nice and neat at all. So I do that with all 3 of them. And then we're going to get our Mod Podge. And you guys, this big bottle, go to Michael's when they have a 50% off coupon and buy it. I've had this for a very long time. And of course you could get the small ones at Dollar Tree. So now I'm applying that to the canvas, sticking the paper on, and then Mod Podging over. I do advise, which I did with the next 2, is Mod Podging the canvas and the back of the piece of paper and then placing onto the canvas and Mod Podging over it, if that makes sense. I feel like it gave it just a little smoother finish instead of being so wrinkly, which I didn't mind because I wanted to look old. And then just repeat that with all 3. I let these dry. I did use the heat gun on them, and then I let them dry naturally for 24 hours. Now, because I'm extra, I'm going to add some beads. These were natural wood beads that I just put on twine, literally held them up and then spray painted them gold. And I am just finding my center point right here, and then the rest of them I'm kind of going ham and eyeballing it so it doesn't have to be perfect. And my idea with these was these would be great pieces for tiered trays, fillers on mantles, your bookshelf, you know, just little spaces where you just need a little oomph, you know. And I think these beads add like a regal look to them, like make them look a little bit fancier, especially because these ladies on here are so fancy and beautiful. And so I repeat that, and I do different like bead styles on each one. I didn't want them all to be the same at all. So you guys, as you'll see too, this tan one is probably my favorite one. But as I was decorating my mantle and like moving things around over and over again, I legit dropped this about 8 times. And finally, by the 8th time, 2 of the beads broke off. So I have to hot glue this back on, and then I will reuse it. So just finishing up this one. Which one's your favorite after you guys see them, you guys? I think it's, I wish I would have held this one up, the tan, because, oh, there we go. Because the tan one I think is my favorite. Let me know which one's your favorite, the red, the blue, or the tan.
I think the blue.
Everett, my son, says he thinks the blue.
Because blue is my favorite color.
Yes, it is. Sorry, my son is down here. Mom life to the fullest. All right, and then here we go. This is the blue and the red one displayed on my dresser top, which I absolutely love. I'm gonna use different scrapbook papers. These are from Hobby Lobby. All of their Patriotic stuff was so beautiful and definitely not on sale. So we are going to take the USA. These are from previous like Dollar Tree DIYs from last year that I'm using. Like I said, save everything from your Dollar Tree stuff because eventually you will use it. So I'm going to trace all of these out. I just like to use a pen here. You could always, what was I going to say? No, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, I was able to flip the U and the A. That way I could glue down the glitter part. But for the S, I wasn't able to do that. Captain Obvious. So I ended up sanding the S down to get that glitter off. I'm going to go ahead and take Mod Podge and apply that. I don't really know why I chose Mod Podge versus just using my glue stick, but this is what we did. So I'm going to go ahead and cover our S up. Then we're going to apply our scrapbooking paper, easy peasy. And we're going to do the same thing for the U and the A using different scrapbook paper for each one. Now taking my rough sanding block from Dollar Tree, we're going to go ahead and go in downward motions. This is going to take off our excess paper, and it is also going to give us a nice little rustic look on the edges here. Going to clean that up a little bit more. Okay. Y'all, I'm using the Dollar Tree houses. My initial vision was to use those new house-like frames, and I thought I had 3, but no, I have 2. So this was the next best thing for me. So I'm actually going to use the back of these, and right here, you guys, I'm using nail polish remover to get the sticky stuff off. I'm going to go ahead and take Crimson Ocean and white, and we are going to de-stress the outside of our houses, making sure not to get that back piece here. I chose not to do the inside of the houses because the letters were far too big to fit in there. So taking some white chalk paint, we are going to go ahead and just do a messy coat on here. I thought about doing like lines to do like a shiplap look and then decided against it afterwards. You can also make these reversible if you want, or just put shipping paper on the inside. So now we're going to take our hot glue. We're going to glue these down. You can also add embellishments and more detail to this. I tried a couple things out, but the letters were just way too large. So I decided, you know what? Sometimes simple is just the better route to go. So I really love how these turned out. I love the simplicity of them, but they're also really bright and make a statement. And I know that they're going to look good anywhere that I choose to put them in my house. DIY, which is super duper duper easy. These are done with the Dollar Tree flags and the 5-gallon stir sticks from Home Depot, which come in a pack of 3. I am going to iron this. Yes, iron. They do not have to stay wrinkly, you guys. I cannot stand when they are wrinkled. I set my iron to synthetic fabric, and I'm even pressing hard on this, and it's hot, and it does not melt. It doesn't damage the sign. It doesn't leave any weird imprints. It turns out great. So, word of advice, iron those puppies. So for the paint sticks, you guys, I cut these down with my miter saw at 14 inches, which it tells you where 14 inches is on these. I find that it's the perfect size for these flags. I do them for every season almost. I did a lemon one, which turned out so cute too. And then I'm using my Rust-Oleum linen chalk paint, and I'm not fully covering them. I do want them to look a little distressed, so I'm using my chippy brush and just vastly going over them, and I do that for all four. And then we're going to take our Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm going to dry brush on these. And for these, keep in mind you only have to do 2, whichever pieces are going to be sticking facing outwards. Those are the only 2 that you technically have to dry brush. So I don't want you guys to waste your product, because I ended up doing all 4 of these, which you don't have to do. So I'm gonna continue to do all 4 because I'm a weirdo. I think about these things after, you know, I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't have to do that. Maybe I should tell them that. So we're gonna go ahead and let those dry, which is really fast. And I usually use my heat gun to speed up the process so I could keep these going while the kids aren't bothering me. Like right now. He's trying to play with my hula hoop right now. Okay, now we're getting the twine. I have used the white ones before, which are perfectly fine, but I wanted to use twine since I was using wood and all that stuff. I just wanted it all to be cohesive. And I keep that plastic tube in there so that it will go through a lot easier. And then I'm going to remove the tube. The tube cannot stay in there as you are going to be gluing the 2 wood pieces together. There we go. Cut it off. And now I'm going to take the wood pieces, and we're going to place 1 on the bottom, hot glue. Come on. There we go. And I measure them just because I want them to be even, but you guys can eyeball it too. And make sure your twine is where you want it, because sometimes the hot glue will seep in and you won't be able to move it later. And then I'm going to hot glue another piece on top of that. And that's going to be your top. And then we're going to go ahead and repeat it on the bottom. Now I want you guys to know, not all Dollar Tree flags are even. So when I start doing the bottom of this sign, I did cut a lot of it out because I was like, why isn't this even? I know it's even up top. I know I measured it. I know, and I just could not get it. Well, it's because the flag itself is not even and straight. But we made it happen. And here's how it looks. Absolutely. All right, our next DIY is going to be using 3 of these Dollar Tree boxes. We are going to use the inside of our boxes for this one. You can also use the outside too. It doesn't matter. We're going to take all of those out. We're going to be using the same paints for everything that we do here today, okay? So if you have them, bring them out. If you don't, we'll move on. Did I already say that in this video? I don't know. Okay, anyways, we are going to paint the entire box here, and I'm saying like the front, the back, the sides. The only thing you're not going to paint are the insides of your boxes. You're also going to paint the rim of your boxes as well. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Maybe. Okay, come on, let's get right there. So the rim, and then we're going to go ahead and paint all of the rest of our boxes. We're going to paint our stars to match. I got these stars at Hobby Lobby for $2.99. They weren't on sale. I don't need you judging me. None of the Patriotic stuff was, okay? All right, so my stars were a little too big for my boxes. we'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm taking these little square cubes and I'm hot gluing them inside. That way they have something to attach to. Now I do wish I would have used two, one on the front and one on the side, just to give it more of a hold. So as you can see, I have them stacked on top of each other because these stars were a little too big for the boxes. So I needed to stack them in order to see where the stars would fit. Now I'm taking some twine. My girl Kelly sent me this twine and it looks so rustic. It was absolute perfection. I am just going to tie that around twice, do a simple bow right here, cut the little tails off, and we're going to do that for all three of our boxes. And possibilities are endless because you could put scrapbook paper on the outsides of these boxes or the stars. You can use glitter. I mean, get down with your bad self, you know, you do you. Okay, so let's cover up the same thing. Again, I'm stacking them like this because the stars were too big. I also tried the foam dice, but those were way too small. All right, so you can see I am putting hot glue on the little cube pieces and then attaching it to the top box. Again, I wish I would have done 2 cubes instead of 1, but nonetheless, this came out super cute. And these are really easy DIYs, you guys. And there's a lot of different options. Like I said, like you could use the dice if you had smaller stars. You can use the outside of the boxes. Possibilities are endless, and I hope you guys are totally digging these simple patriotic DIYs today. This is going to be super cute. So I'm going to use Waverly Ocean Chalk paint. You guys, I wish I would have got more of these sign things from Dollar Tree. They're awesome, and I only grabbed 3, and now I can't find them anymore. So I was like, oh, that came off super duper easy. Save that because you'll need it for another project. It did have a lot of glue, so I took some Dollar Tree sandpaper. It comes in a really big pack, and they're pretty good pieces. I take as much of it off as I can, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint this entire piece with some chalk paint. And I cover this. You guys, if it wasn't this sign, that buffalo check on the outer rim would have been so cute. But I do cover it, so don't kill me. But that would have been a cute idea for another sign, like a Christmas sign or something. If I find more of these, I'm totally going to buy them. And I'm noticing already that, well, 1, you're going to have to do a second coat. And 2, that the glue residue, like where the glue was, is still showing. So here's me. I'm finishing up my second coat of chalk paint. And again, like I said, like you're going to see where that glue was no matter what. So keep that in mind. I don't know if all of them are like this, but this one definitely was, but I figured I'm covering it anyways. So see how you could see all those lines. So this was, I think, what, a planter stick. I got E6000, put it on all the raised ridges, and then I also took hot glue because I wanted that immediate hold on it. And you guys, as you will see, I stick this on, and I'm confident it'll hold because it has those ridges on it which pop out, which will touch the sign. But this thing does not hold. It does not work at all. It just falls right off. I could pick it up. It doesn't matter. So learn from me and don't do that. I don't know what is going on, you guys. But, okay. So here, I'm trying it again. Adding more hot glue. Still doesn't work. I don't know why I tried it again like it was going to make any difference. But I do end up trying this again, and I am going back in at this point with an extra piece of a paint stir stick, and I am going to attach that piece to my truck, and then I take hot glue and basically douse it on like the sides of the stick, as you can see right here, because I mean nothing wants to stick to this truck, I tell you. But it did, you guys. It worked. And now I have to touch up because I had hot glue all over this and it peeled up the paint. But this ended up working great, you guys. I'm so glad that I keep everything and keep scraps. Anybody else like that? I always think there's a use for something at some points. And now I'm going to go ahead and E6000 and hot glue because I do not want this puppy to fall off randomly. And let me tell you, I dropped this quite a few times while I was trying to decorate my mantle and it didn't go anywhere. Not at all. So it's on there for good. And now I'm just touching up those pieces that I kind of nicked. You guys, if you don't have a heat gun, get one. They're awesome. Found this one on Facebook Marketplace. And now I'm taking a decal I made, and this one just says God Bless America in white vinyl. And I'm going to place that on there, give it a little something extra, especially because we have all of that space. You might as well utilize it, right? And love this. I love how it turned out. Of course, my transfer paper was sticking hardcore to this, and I did not want it to scratch or peel up the chalk paint, so I had to be super careful. But I do love how the wording and the placement came out. And then we're going to go ahead and get a bow. So this one, I was trying to use it. It was one I already had made, way too big. So I was like, all right, got to start from scratch. So this ribbon is from Dollar Tree. I think it's like 1.5 inches. I cut them in half and then I cut the ends off. And for this bow, you're just doing crisscross, horizontal, crisscross, horizontal. And then we are taking some twine and tying it up in the middle. These are the easiest bows. They're even easier when you're using fabric or ribbon that isn't stiff like this. Like this one is really stiff ribbon. So it's like a burlappy. If you guys did not find this at Dollar Tree, I am sorry because it is so, so pretty. And then we are just taking that twine that we tied it up with, and I'm just wrapping it around the bow, and it makes it look a little bit more rustic, which I love. And then we are going to hot glue that to our sign. And ladies and gentlemen, we are not done there, because if you watch my videos, you know how extra I am. And I have to add more. Well, that, and I thought this was going to be like a stand-up sign, but with the weight of the truck on there, you can't stand it up. So I get the drill out, and I'm going to drill some holes in this, and we are going to use those beautiful wood beads. I got mine, I think, at Joann's with a coupon. You guys, with this twine, put some Scotch tape around it. It will go in so much smoother. And especially when you are doing beads, it makes the beads go through a lot more smoothly as well. So I'm just kind of measuring out, eyeballing it. And then I use 3 of like the medium size and 3 of the small just to change up the wooden bead look a little bit, add more depth to it. And I love it. I didn't paint these or anything. I just used the natural wood. And you guys, this sign comes out looking like a Hobby Lobby sign. I swear, it is so cute. You hardly see any of that, like the glue residue I told you about, because it's pretty much covered by everything that we put on there. And then I'm going to finish this off. I'm gonna put it through the hole, tie it off, and I can't wait for you guys to see it because it's absolutely adorable. And you guys, I am so sad. I took a picture of this, but I cannot find anywhere that it goes in my house, like hanging wise. So isn't that cute? All right, let's recap. And drop a comment down below letting me know which one was your favorite. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and let me know what you want to see. I am game for anything. So I hope you guys... Alrighty, so for this one, okay, I get it. Like, yes, we've all seen beaded garlands. I'll probably show you the most complicated way to make one, but I just had to make it when I saw this gnome at Hobby Lobby. So for me, I like to line up all of my wood beads before starting. That way I know how long I want it. For these wood beads, I had to make custom colors because I did not have the dark blue or dark red that matched the gnome. Y'all, I'm going to put it out there. I know I could use skewers. I know there are tons of other ways to do it. But for me at this moment, it worked. For me, it was fast. And yeah, you do you and I'll do me. Okay. So we, again, we're mixing crimson. I mixed it with some black to get this like deep red color. The colors ended up turning out so fabulous. Okay. So I'm going to finish painting all of those. If you get sick by movement, please look away. I move the camera a lot. So this is Hank. Y'all know him. You would think he's sitting up behind my chair because he wants cuddles or love. But don't let this dog fool you. No, he's not looking for love from mama. You want to see what he's looking for? He's looking for mama's coffee. See that? And then he'll look away. No, what? I don't. No. Oh, mom. Oh, that coffee. Yep. That's all I wanted. Okay, now taking this twine, I actually think these twine pieces came from one of like the pale, it's like red, blue, and silver, and they come out during the 4th of July season. And I think these are the tops that you can hang them with. I could be totally wrong, but that's where I got those from. I'm going to take a bunch of this twine, put it together. I'm going to fold it in half just to figure out where my middle is. And then I'm going to take that piece of twine, double knot it, just so I can have it together. There you go. All right. I don't know what to, sippy of my coffee. Then fold it in half, go an inch down, and then go ahead and tie that in a double knot as well. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. This is just how I do it. And now we're going to take the gnome, and this gnome was perfect because it had like a little ring on the top. So it was like made for this beaded garland. So we're going to tie more of that twine on. We are going to start feeding our beads through. And of course, you guys can do the colors however you want. You could do red, white, and then blue. This is how I just chose to do it. So I'm going to continue feeding all of our beads through here. Oh, this turned out so good. Like the colors matched that gnome so well. All right, so we're going to continue to do that. After we're done, we are going to take that end piece, feed it through our tassel, double knot it, and y'all, that is it. This beaded garland, in my opinion, looks so high end and so upscale. Like it totally looks like I bought it from the store, and I'm okay with that. But look at how good those colors go with my gnome. Oh my goodness. Stick around to the end of the video. Okay, so we are going to take the Dollar Tree planters. I'm taking the short, wider one and the tall, skinnier one. We're going to take some painter's tape here. And at first I tried to get all technical, like I was painting a wood sign or something. And I was like, all right, let's put it down. Then let's put the little piece in the middle. And then let's put another strip on the side. And yeah, I got over that real fast, y'all. And then I just started, eyeballing it and just went all the way around. Then taking my Crimson by Waverly, I'm going to go in and we are going to apply 2 coats. I got to take a drink of my coffee, you guys. I'm running out of breath. My throat is getting parched. Yep, okay. Oh yeah, taking my weeding tool, I do make sure to get like the bottom and the sides really good. That way the paint doesn't seep under those sections of our tape. Now we'll take that crimson. We'll do 2 coats of it. Make sure it is thoroughly dry and not hot. I use my heat gun before applying the second coat. And this gave us like crisp lines, y'all. And it looks so good with the metal. So good. All right, for this one, I'm taking vinyl stars that I cut with my Cricut. I'm going to place these all over, no particular order. We're going to take that ocean. And again, we're going to do 2 coats. After that's dry, we're going to weed them out. I had no bleeding on these. And oh my gosh, like it just looks, the paint with the metal looks outstanding. So after we're done with that, we're going to take our gnome garden stakes. Yes, you heard me. Who found these? I'm lying. We're going to Mod Podge it first. I would have probably just taken that outside and spray painted it with clear. Okay, now here are our garden gnome stakes. I'm going to take them off. I'm going to get our Jenga blocks and I'm going to cut those Jenga blocks in half. I'm going to hot glue them together. This is going to give us a good base so that the gnomes, like, because they're sunken in, we need something to attach. So I'm taking the Star Bond thick super glue and my accelerator, and I am going to attach the domino piece to it. And now we're going to hot glue it to our planter. So you guys know, the hot glue does not react to metal here. So that's why I'm using the Star Bond thick glue. And then the accelerator, when I spray it down, it literally attaches like instantaneously. It's amazing. I will leave my affiliate link down in the description box if you want to check that out. And then we are just going to apply this second gnome, fill it with some patriotic flowers or whatever your heart desires. And I haven't decided if I want to put these outside yet or if I want to put them in the house. But like, y'all, if these don't make you smile, I don't think we could be friends. Like, seriously. Right when I took this video and I took the picture, all I could do was smile. They're just so stinking adorable. So I hope you think the same thing. Okay, so these are the 4x4 little picture frame thingamajiggers at Dollar Tree. We are totally going to deconstruct these, but first I had to change my Dollar Tree haul, okay? But you're going to take the sawtooth hanger off, take the box off. I mean, you're taking everything apart. Then we're going to take some of that scrapbook paper we used earlier. Going to apply some hot glue. We're going to stick it on there, then cut it out. And you're going to do that for both of the insides of these frames. Easy peasy. Then we are going to stick them back into their frames. I am going to, again, use that thick super glue instead of hot glue. Hot glue, when it dries, it kind of like leaves a thickness. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, now on the back side of our frames, I'm going to take like a large amount of Mod Podge. I don't know what I was thinking, but good thing there was another one to put it on. And we're going to put that on, y'all, I'm a hot mess. Okay, anyway, scrapbook paper on the back. And we're going to take our sandy block majigger thing. There we go, our nifty, difty, handy, dandy sandy block. And we're going to distress the edges down. And now we're going to start putting together our crate. So I'm going to get these paint stir sticks. These are the smaller ones. We are going to paint the front, the back, the side, the tops, the bottoms. You are going to paint everything. You are going to use 8. You probably should get 9, but I only had 8. So I made it work. So I am going to hot glue 3 of them down at the bottom. I alternate the paint sticks. I acted like you can see them. Hey, you guys. Hi, my forehead wanted to say hi as usual. You're welcome. All right, now we're gonna apply hot glue to the right side here, and then they just slide right in. Voila. Then I was like, oh crap, how am I gonna fit the other paint sticks? Ooh, look, I was like, it fit. So then we're gonna put 3 more, and I'm gonna get my hot glue, and sorry you guys, sorry, we had an accident. So I'm gonna hot glue. I just lift those up and then I just set them back down on the hot glue. Then coming towards us, we're gonna do 2. Like I said, I ran out of paint stir sticks, but it's okay because you're not really even gonna see this side. So I wasn't too upset by it. So 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Now taking our antique wax by Waverly, I am gonna go ahead and distress this down. The reason I chose to distress it was because the truck that we're using is more of like dark rustic colors versus pure whites and reds and bright reds. So that's why I decided to do this. Now taking our truck from Dollar General, you could also update a truck from Dollar Tree if you've gotten one. We're gonna hot glue that to it and we are done. You can also use Velcro and change up the truck as the seasons go by, which I think is a great idea. But I love the like detail of the side of it and then the beautiful truck. I love that it's a pop of greenery. So you could definitely put this in your house or you could put it outside on the patio or the porch. But I really love how simple this was to create. One, you guys, These are also stars that came off of a project from last year that I saved. I'm going to trace all 3 of them with the 3 different scrapbook papers I have. And in case you've never seen anybody trace a star, you're welcome. That was for you. Okay, so for this one, we are taking the jumbo glue stick from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna make sure to get the sides very, very good. We're putting a healthy coat of glue on this star. We're gonna do the same thing for the other 2. Okay, so we're gonna do the other 2. Then we're going to sand those down just like we have with the other ones. And then we're going to take one of the newer wood frames from Dollar Tree, which you don't need this frame. You could use any frame. You could even take a canvas off of its frame and use that. And I'm going to take the prongs out here. And now we are just going to play around with placement. This is seriously the easiest DIY. So at first I play around with the placement. Then I try like getting a pencil, marking off my spot. That way I know where to put my hot glue. Well, that didn't work at all because I end up like not even putting it where I marked it, but y'all know. I think you guys get how to do this. I'm just a hot mess. So I wanted to point out though, that this would look really cute if you put the back on it with like glitter in the background, or fairy lights in the background would be super beautiful. Imagine this on a larger scale, like chandelier status. Ooh, that would look cute too. Okay, so many things I should have done, right? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just glue the rest of those on here. You can also put a piece of twine for this to hang. I decided just to have it propped up. And that is it, you guys. Thank you for joining me for these 8 patriotic DIYs. I hope you guys take the time to check out the playlist in my description box to see what other creators have made for the playlist. Also check out the Fisher House Foundation. Here's one out of 100 and million bajillion pre-recorded introductions. Obviously, I'm still pregnant. And this is posting in May. Look at that girl. Look at that girl. Can we just say that, yeah, this definitely isn't a pregnancy shirt. So it's working real hard on Mom. It's like a medium. All right. I like how I'm like looking in this one, but it's in this one. I'm sure that's how everybody gets stuff out of their eyes. I don't get why you're drooling. Like there's nothing around. There's no reason for it, you know? You get what I'm saying? There's no reason to be drooling. There's no food around. I swear I don't have a problem. That's baby shower stuff. I don't have an Amazon problem. I mean, I probably do have an Amazon problem, but nothing we need to talk about. Okay. Hey guys, how did you like those first couple? No, that sounds